We're going to build a very simple intelligent assets system for a fictional company that makes chemicals. This company transports these chemicals using tank cars, which are railroad cars with tanks mounted on them holding those chemicals. So, in our intelligent assets system, those tank cars would be our assets. The company also maintains storage sites, which is where the tank cars are loaded and unloaded. And so, in our intelligent assets system, those storage sites would be the areas. The company needs to know certain things for their business. For example, they need to know when temperatures of those tanks exceed certain thresholds. If that ever happens, they need to be notified. So that is an action that might occur based on a temperature rule. The company also needs to know when a tank car is approaching a site. So if the tank car gets to a certain location relative to that site, the company needs to be notified. Now, in our example system, those notifications will happen by email. Now, when you have an intelligent assets system installed, you will interact with it through a web browser like I'm doing over here. In this case, I'm using Chromium, which is essentially Chrome. When the system is installed, you will have created within the system users, and different users will have different privileges that allow them to do different things within the system. I have a user setup that essentially has all the privileges available for interacting with the system. So I'm going to sign in as that user. Now, what you're going to start off seeing is the completed solution. And in subsequent videos, we're going to build this solution step by step. I'll just say for the moment that in the map on the right, you're seeing one asset, which is in purple, that's one tank car. And you're seeing one area that's in blue. And the area is surrounded by a geofence, which is a virtual boundary around the area. The idea is if the asset crosses into this boundary, the company needs to be notified by an email. And if I go and look at asset detailed information, by the way, what this navigation bar entails will be covered in subsequent videos as well. But if I go to the assets menu item here, I can go to the details on my one asset and I see that the temperature is 23 Celsius. And as I mentioned, if that temperature exceeds a certain threshold, which I've set at 40 Celsius, then I also need to be notified by an email. When I go to my email client, I have a section where I'm expecting to see these emails. Right now, I don't have any emails. So let me go ahead and simulate the temperature event. Now, in your system, the temperature information is probably flowing into the system from sensors or trackers that are mounted on your asset. They may be sending in other attribute information. In my case, I'm actually going to simulate the temperature going to 50 Celsius. So I'm running some code that you don't see that's simulating that. And when I do that, and I look at the asset information, you will see that the temperature has indeed been set at 50 Celsius, which means I should eventually receive an email letting me know that that has happened. Now, while I wait, okay, there it is. There's the email that just came in and lets me know the tank temperature exceeded some threshold, tells me the ID of the asset for which the event occurred, tells me what the event was, and there's some additional information that you will understand as we go through subsequent videos. And similarly, let me simulate the movement of the asset into the geofence. And when that happens, I should also see an email. So in your system, this location information might be flowing into the system from trackers mounted on your asset that may have GPS sensors. But in my case, I'm basically going to simulate this by running some code that you don't see it again. So let me go ahead and do that. And you see that I just moved the asset into the geofence. And eventually, I should see an email, and I did. Looks like I'm seeing other emails as well, but that's okay. This is the one I care about. It says tank car entered geofence, car arriving. So that is the completed solution. And in subsequent videos, we're going to build this step by step. So thank you for continuing to watch these.